Hi and welcome to VeloGPS. In this video we're going to be taking a look at a pair of out-in-front mounts which can be used for mounting your Garmin Edge Cycle GPS just a little bit ahead of your handlebars and a little bit more in your field of view. So looking at the two mounts we have for you today, the first one is Garmin's plastic out-in-front mount, and then the second one is a mount from Superstar Components that is made of aluminium. Now, both of these mounts come with the standard Garmin quarter-turn mounting system, so they're going to be compatible with your Garmin Edge 200, 500, 510, Touring, 800 and 810. Indeed, the only Edge that they're not compatible with is the Garmin Edge 1000 because it's a little bit bigger in size and therefore has to have a slightly different mount. But we're going to cover that in a different video, so let's take a closer look at these. Okay, so first of all we're taking a look at Garmin's out-in-front mount. So this is a predominantly plastic construction. It features the standard quarter-turn mounting system that is standard across the Edge range. It comes with a rubber reducer inside of the mount, so depending on the size of your handlebar or stem, that can be removed or not. So it's secured in place. It's quite good because it only has a single Allen bolt here rather than a double Allen bolt. There's actually a little hinge on the side here. So we're just going to undo that, and it's quite a long bolt, so we may need to fast forward our way through this, but we'll just try and whiz this out. Okay, so just opening that up, we're going to take the rubber reducer out because we don't need that for our bike. But you'll just notice potentially within this, and we're just going to try and line it up in some light there, there is actually a little rubber strip around the inside edge here. So even with the reducer removed, you don't actually have the plastic directly in contact with the metal of your handlebar or the carbon of your bars. So it's just a little protective strip there. So you open up the hinge, so it's quite a neat little system. You run it around the back of your handlebar, and then just avoiding your cables, you connect it into the other side, and then it's easiest to just finger tighten up initially to get it in place, and then you just want to make sure that it's lined up at the right sort of angle for what you want, and then you pop the Allen key back in and tighten the bolt up. Okay, so we're just going to finish the last few turns, and what you want to do before it's fully tight is just make sure that the unit is displayed centrally with your stem bracket, and then it's just the last few turns, and before it's fully tight you can adjust it up and down as you see fit. So we'll just do the last couple of turns on that. Okay, we're now just going to show you it with an edge in place. So this is the Edge 200. So it literally just twists in place on the quarter turn mount, and what we should have shown you there is that standard across the Garmin range, all of the Edge units come with this mounting system on the rear. So you have a tab here and a tab here that you line up with the slots here and here at the top and bottom, and then you just literally twist your Edge through 90 degrees to secure it in place. So that's the Garmin Edge 200 displayed there, and we'll just take that one off, and then we'll show you the Garmin Edge 500, and again you'll see it's got the same mounting system on the rear, and the 500 slots nicely in, and that's nice and secure. And then next we have the Garmin Edge 510, so we'll just pop that on. So this unit, as we say, is pretty universal across all of the Garmin Edge range. The only unit that doesn't fit is sadly the Garmin Edge 1000. So next we have the Garmin Edge Touring, and actually you can hear that one snapping nicely into place. We'll just turn it. There we go. So that's the Garmin Edge Touring. And then finally, we'll just show you it. The Edge 800 does fit, but we don't have one here today. But here's the Garmin Edge 810. Okay, that's the 810 in place. And then just to make our point about the Edge 1000 not fitting, we've got our 1000 here. And we'll slot it in, and you'll just see it's starting to foul on the actual bracket and the handlebars themselves, and if we do it from the other side, again it fouls on the bracket for the stem there. So there you can see a very neat mounting system, puts the Edge unit a little bit ahead of your handlebars and a little bit more in your field of view. So let's take a closer look now at the Superstar Components bracket. Okay, here we have the Superstar Components out in front mount for the Garmin Edge range. So this is fairly similar in design, but the one significant difference is that this is made out of aluminium versus the plastic that the Garmin mount is made from. So fairly similar mounting idea, albeit this one has two Allen bolts on either side, so the top part of this clamp removes. It does come with some metal shims or reducers that again fit inside the clamp depending on the size of your handlebar or the bar that you're mounting it to. So we're just going to whiz these Allen bolts out and then we'll be able to mount it onto our bike. So it's a little bit trickier than the Garmin mount, just because there's two bolts, but not significantly so. Okay, so once they're off, the top section removes, and then you hold on to that, and then you loop the bottom section again behind your cables, and then slide the top section back on. And again, it's probably just a good idea to finger tighten those bolts just a little bit before trying to get the Allen key in. Okay, so once they're in place, it's just a question of tightening them up. Try and do them evenly. And again, just try and position it where you think you're going to want it. Okay, so last few turns to tighten that up. We'll do the same on that side. Okay, so that's the Superstar Components mount nice and securely in place. And we're just going to pop a couple of units into it. So again, pop in our Edge 200 in. You could definitely hear that one clicking very firmly into place, couldn't you? Okay, so there's the Edge 200. Okay, and we'll pop an Edge 500 in. Again, a very firm and positive mount there. The Edge 510. And then we're going to pop in, we'll just do our 810. The touring does fit within the unit, but to save on time we'll just show you that with the Edge 810 in place. So again, we've aligned this with our stem bracket on the front there, so this is absolutely central between the bars and nicely out in front, nicely level. But it has lots of adjustment here, and the nice thing about the Superstar Components one, there's actually on the underside just down here where the arm joins into the body, it's actually joined in via another Allen bolt that's underneath, and there is actually a little bit of forwards and backwards movement. So if you're mounting one of the smaller units such as a 200 or a 500, you can actually slide the mount a little bit closer to your bars if you want, just for neatness, or keep it further away as we have done in this situation. But we'll just show you again that the Edge 1000 doesn't fit with this bracket. So again, you can just see that it's fouling on the bars there, and if we try it from the other side, again we have the same situation. Okay, so that's the Superstar Components bracket, and we will be featuring this later because we're going to try and make an adaptation to this to take a Garmin Verb action camera. So we mentioned earlier that you can adjust the Superstar Components mount, and if we flip it over you'll see that there's an Allen bolt and cutaway on the rear here, and if you slacken off the Allen bolt you're able to slide the clamp up and down the mounting arm. Okay, we're just going to finish off by answering the burning question as to which of these two mounts we would choose to use, and we're going to give a slightly flaky answer because it may actually be that you already have the Garmin out in front mount as part of a package that you've purchased with your Edge. And if that's the case, then there really is very little reason to upgrade, because both mounts hold your Edge in roughly the same position. Both mounts are equally secure at holding your Edge. So really it comes down to if you are buying the mount as a standalone item, separate from your Edge. And if that's the case, then probably the biggest factor is going to be cost. So the Garmin comes in at roughly £20, whereas the Superstar Components mount comes in at a staggering £12.99, which is a fantastic price for an all-metal mount, which is adjustable. So really on price alone, we have to say that the Superstar Components mount ever so slightly edges it.